Let me see what's going on. Hey, YouTube. Who's the one person lurking in the back? Hey, I'll wait till some more people come in the room before I start. What? All right, what happened now, Jeremy? What do you mean you hate people? What happened now when you say you hate people? Did you try calling me today? Because some number came up in Florida. I think it was Florida. What happened now? What happened? Something happened. Because every time you get emotional, okay, well, yeah, people at work always going to make somebody upset. That's why I tend to mind my own business and stay to myself. But sometimes, you gotta. There's always people that's gonna get to your nerves. I could tell you that. Half the time, those people ain't got nothing better to do, so they tend to bother those who they think they could run over. But if you tell them on one good time, I ain't say go on a rampage cursing them out, but it's some things you just have to deal with to some extent. You know, as long as it doesn't cause you to lose your job. Sometimes you just gotta go to work. Well, I don't know. I don't know what happened. So all I'm saying, don't be all up in people's face. Don't be all up and tell your business to people. Don't do that. Don't be all up in people's business and don't get all up in that clique. Because when you get in, and don't be around messy people. That's all I know. If you know in your spirit there's something about a person, just walk away. Don't say nothing. Sometimes you got to do that. You got to do that. You say hi and bye. Or sometimes don't say nothing at all. Just keep it moving. If they not, if they not your so-called immediate supervisor or someone in authority, the only thing they supposed to tell you is what you need to do to get your job done, and that's it. Anything else? Mm-mm. That's why as I gotten older in the workforce, it's only so much that I would tolerate. That's why when I was working at Amazon in that with their warehouse and stuff, I kept myself at a distance from people. I just talked to certain people, and that's it. And then when you try to befriend some people, and they think they want to at you, like I told you, some people trying to come at me a certain kind of way, and I'd be like, nope, I'm not dealing with no foolishness. You know, I tell them, I said, shoot, especially people that's old enough to be your child, people of different generation, they want to act all crazy and stuff and want to say, fat bitch, that's all you could say. That's all you could come up with, you know, fat bitch. You could lose fat. They so quick. Yeah, fat, and they turn around looking so anorexic. They ain't got no ass, you skinny, look like you malnutrition, like you need to eat something, and they want to, hey, you fat bitch. I'm nowhere closer. So, I mean, I know I'm tall, but I'm not someone to be fat. And even if I was, you can lose fat, but you can't lose stupid, and you can't lose being an idiotic. You know, some people ain't got shit because they jealous and they ain't got nothing else to do than trying to come at you. That's all. But I keep telling you, Jeremy, you need to have a backbone. Sometimes you get too, see, you let people railroad you, and you need to stop being so sensitive about stuff. We had this conversation before. Just go to work, make your money. You know, if you go to break and lunch, just go to your car or go on your phone and do whatever you need. You ain't got to get all up in the people business. Don't let people up in your business, because that's the main thing that's going to happen. You can't worry about people at work. They ain't got nothing better to do than to bring their misery on to other people. Mm-mm. So I stopped that. I stopped trying to be savior. You can't be save a hole at work. Because that's what people do. That's what they mainly want to do. Hey, you a new person name. I never seen your name, Lady TH. Never seen your name before. Well, like, comment, subscribe as you enter the room. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, please. Ooh, it's chilly in here. God dang, it's cold. I didn't do nothing today. I just basically cleaned up. I ain't still fit. I'm still cleaning up. I vacuumed and shampoo my rugs upstairs. I was supposed to have two appointments today that someone was supposed to come to my house to do some measurements on the carpet, and the first time they came, it was like 11 o'clock, and I was waiting and waiting, and they came exactly 11:01. I didn't answer the door. And the thing about that was, hey, I'm about to clock back in from break today. All right, I'll be on here for a minute. I ain't trying to stay on here all night either. I got things I need to study and stuff. It don't seem like there's a lot of people coming on. But so they come knocking on the door, and I was like, no, if you can't ring that doorbell, you're not just gonna knock. I hate when people do that. You see a big ass doorbell, you knocking on my door, and you're not even knocking appropriately. You know, mm-mm. So I didn't even go downstairs. And then they calling me on the phone. I didn't even answer. Then I had another appointment at this other place that's supposed to come. He supposed to be here at 6 o'clock. I'm cleaning up and throwing stuff out in the garbage and everything, And he called me at 5:25, saying he called me to see if he could come earlier. It's already 5:25. He's supposed to be here at 6 o'clock. How earlier are you thinking? So I'm going downstairs, waiting. He told me he on his way, and then when I come back upstairs, it's 6:15. No, 10 after 6. And I called and I said, "Well, where are you? You called me um 40 minutes ago," and then he was like, "Oh, I'm stuck in traffic." People be just lying through their teeth. Talk about using traffic. It ain't hardly no kind of traffic at all. Even in the break of rush hour, 5 o'clock, it ain't no traffic. There's so many people working from home or people losing their jobs or whatever the case may be. It's not even like traffic, regular traffic. So the minute I said, "Well, you know what? Never mind. Hey, Winston Evans, you just come and schedule another time." Okay, he hung up. He had no fucking intentions of coming on driving over here anyway. Because you were too quick. He was too quick. With the minute I say no, no, or whatever, at the time he called me, he should have already been in the area or saying, "Oh, I'll be here in 2 minutes." But the minute I say, "No, no, you're gonna be scared," okay, then you hang up. You wasn't gonna come anyway, stupid ass. You know? So I'm gonna call 50 Flora on Monday and speak to the manager or someone and report that. Because if now I know this morning technically that was from the Wayfair free estimate. It was both free estimates for measurements. It wasn't like I was gonna buy anything when they get here. It was measurements for the floors. Now it gonna make me question, do I even want to be bothered? Now I'm talking about the second company. The first one, I didn't even answer the door, but I'll just reschedule that down a few months because I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna replace my carpet or flooring anytime soon anyway, because I'll be buying a brand new entry door, and Tuesday I'm getting some other work done around the house. So my budget and money's already spent once I get some of the things done outside the house and my entry door. Other than that, the carpet and all that other stuff, that's gonna have to wait, and other things. So I just wanted to see how much it'll cost to replace this carpet. But the way this carpet don't look bad anyway, to be honest. I mean, I still need to do some deep, get me a more professional deep clean machine, because I try to clean this carpet and I need a more um, industrial hard to get this carpet really really clean, because it's not, you know oh, I just need to get me some carpet cleaner and spray and probably do that. But other than that, hey Romeo, well, how you keep adding more to your name, Romeo, and seeing things differently? Nope, I'm just talking, nothing in particular. So, well, I need to see your channel because I haven't even seen anything on your channel yet. I'm gonna look and see what you um talking about. So, anywho, that's pretty much what I've been doing now. Down to the wire for election day. Come Tuesday, we got what? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 more days. And so many people have voted early across the country. And I don't know, we're going to see what happens. Come next week around this time, either we're going to know the results of what's going to happen, or it may be delayed. I don't know. I'm just, as it's getting closer and closer, it's almost kind of nerve wracking. It was saying some people it's nerve wracking, so much coming out. But I don't know. We have to bear it. We have to, whatever happens, happens. But that's least of the worries, I guess. I ain't gonna say worries, but this whole week the stock market's been going down, and there was predictions of um, a lot of not job losses, but predictions of what's going to happen in the coming months about recession and everything else, and the way it looks, we ain't getting no stimulus before. We ain't getting no stimulus this year, so that's out the book. Exactly. No, because if Trump lose or whatever happens, his presidency doesn't end until January 20th. So it doesn't end on election day. It just the presidency, whoever becomes president, it starts January 20th. So if Trump lose, he's going to be in office till January 20th of next year until that clock strikes midnight, and then the new president is sworn in. So either he's going to be sworn in, or either he's going to be re-sworn in again, and it'll be 4 more years of hell, or we're going to have to deal with 2 more months, at least a little bit over 2 more months of stupidness. So if he loses, and he may think that, he said he ain't gonna concede or whatever. You don't have to concede. If Biden wins and Trump says I'm not gonna concede or whatever, that doesn't mean you get to stay as president. You just can get your ass out. And he thinking that the Supreme Court is gonna rule in his favor. He got something coming to him. We are in one right now, recession wise, but I'm talking about the how worse is it going to get? How bad is it going to be? So, and then the coronavirus, the countries in Europe, France, and some other countries, they going back down to lockdown again. Some countries are going right back to lockdown, and that's really taking a toll for the world economy. And they going right back to lockdown again, and of course people in the United States, they're going to be like, they don't want to do that again, be on lockdown and all that kind of stuff. But see, they thinking businesses staying open is going to improve the economy, when the fact of the matter is, it's not the coronavirus that's having this havoc on the economy. That's just, I think people are being too naive, and they are focusing on things being thinking it's the coronavirus affecting the economy, when the economy is this was going to happen anyway. If the coronavirus didn't happen, the economy we were doomed for a um, meltdown, I mean depression or whatever anyway. It's just a matter of when was it going to happen, or how exposed it was going to be. That's the thing, you know, Because even then, if they pass, even not just the United States giving out stimulus, even other countries are giving some form of stimulus. That is what's really driving this world economy down. It's just and it's been overinflated for the last few years. When Trump took over for 4 years, they was predicting that anyway. But things go in cycle, but it's a whole new different ball game. So I don't know. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see what happens. But all I know is this: with all the overinflation, and now they're talking about, if the worldwide, and other countries are going on lockdown, that's going to affect the United States economy even worse. You know, it's going to affect it even worse. And if Trump gets in office, only thing I can say about that is at least he can only stay in office for 4 years and that's it. And then you just have to bear it for 4 years. And hopefully in those 4 years, we will have elections for the Senate and the House. And then you need to vote those people out who's not wanting to, who's enabling Trump and following his stupid policies or whatever. So in those 4 years, those Republicans and some Democrats or whomever, they're gonna be tread lightly. You better tread lightly. Your number up for reelection in 2 years, whatever, and you um follow those policies with Trump or whatever, you better make him a lame duck president. See, that's why he's gonna try to push executive orders. He ain't passed not one bill that I know of is significant progress to anybody. You know, you can forget about that stimulus because I'm gonna tell you now, if Trump get into office and gets reelected, there ain't gonna be no stimulus. See, I think you need to start a podcast in YouTube. Yeah, but I need to get my subscribers and stuff up. Right now, I know I should do it anyway, but I need to focus on when I do a podcast or whatever. I wanna focus on a specific kind of channel. For me to do that. So, but there's some ideas that's going to be roaming. Right now, my YouTube is more of a general type of blog. It ain't nothing in particular, and I can talk about budgeting, money, financing as a gig worker, not just Uber Eats and Grubhub, not those gigs, but just in general, and finance and things like that. My true passion. So, but we'll see what happens. Like I said, this time next week, either we're gonna know, either it's gonna be dragged on for a few weeks, depending on how close that race is. If it's a landslide, and ain't no way that, and Trump says, oh, and if it's really, really, really close, then there may be some difficulties. But other than that, Biden gets to that 251, and after 2 weeks from when the election ends, the Electoral College has to certify and vote on how many, if they, just because you won the popular vote doesn't mean you win the presidency. You can win the popular vote because that's what happened with Hillary and Gore. Gore, it was such a close race that it took weeks, if if not a couple months. No, I won't say a couple months. It took maybe over a month before Congress had to get not Congress. The Supreme Court had to get involved and decide on the election because, and it was Florida. They had it was a difference between Florida and Gore could have run. He conceded. He was like, you know what, I concede, and he could have took it to the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court would have made the decision who became president. But it was as one state that held up that election for Gore to win that presidency that year. And that's how Bush became president. And then you know what happened with that. Bush became president, and then 9/11 happened, and the Iraq War, and all those other things came tumbling down. But I could tell you one thing. I'd rather have Bush in office than have that stupid Trump. I could tell you that. I know a lot of people hated Bush too, but at least he had he did some stuff too. But a lot of people are like, oh, he's a war criminal and da 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 and all that kind of stuff. But at least he did not. At least he did not disrespect the press, disrespect scientists, disrespect people in general. When it was all said and done, a lot of people were against Bush because of the war. Yep, Winston. Because even then, when his father passed, and you saw President Obama, Melania, the First Lady, Clintons, they all were sitting together, and they and showed that respect when his father passed, and Bush was like laughing, and he was, he as a private citizen. I like Bush. At that point, when they showed another side of him, I said, you know what? I do like Bush. People make mistakes. Like I said, he made mistakes, did things that people didn't agree with. But shit, he didn't do the egregious things that Trump's doing. Trump just plain ass. Nobody's gonna be perfect. Nobody's gonna, people policies ain't always gonna agree with people. Even Reagan. See, let me tell you, I went to the first inauguration when President Obama got elected, and I was at the old post office, the right at the um, end of the parade. And I remember when Bush walked through, and I was standing, I was like right there, and I was like, I had to salute. Because I said, I didn't say boo, get out hell, I didn't boo or nothing like that. I said, thank you, President Bush, and salute, and thank you for your service and serving this country as the president. Now, I may not have voted for Bush, or whatever the case may be, but you know what? He left that presidency with class. He left out there. He did some things that people didn't like. He was like, "Oh my God, a war." Come on. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Everybody ain't gonna agree. Everybody gonna say, "Oh, Everybody gonna agree what happened or whatever the case may be." But you have to do what you got to do. Somebody, um, terrorist act comes onto the United States. You got to fight back. You know, you got to fight back. You got to do what you got to do. Just because you didn't agree with the war or whatever the case may be, the fact of the matter is this: someone came into the United States and attacked on U.S. territories with 9/11, and you got to come back strong. You know, you got to come back strong. And yeah, the economy and the president doesn't have that much power in terms of what goes on in terms of with the economy. Sometimes the things that goes on in the economy is progressive. You know, it's years and years. It's something every president's going to have to endure something. Now, whoever takes over this, um, if Biden takes over Trump's 4 years, he got a lot of cleaning up he got to do. He got to work with all people of Congress. He got to go back and establish worldwide relationships with other countries. You know, he got to do all those things and fix what Trump did. Now, some countries, like this one person in China, he ain't nobody. He just some regular investor who made millions of dollars in China. He was like, he preferred, they asked him, who do you prefer to be president? He said Trump. And the only reason why he said Trump was because he was a business man and he felt that China could deal better with Trump than Biden. I was like, what? Y'all crazy. I was like, you could truly tell that it was all about Trump had already had millions of dollars invested in China and money in China for you to say that. You know, the only reason why some people are supporting Trump, like Ice Cube and some of these black folks, black men, they trying to say, a lot of black men were supporting Trump or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why, because kissing a white man ass it ain't gonna help you with your raggedy business. That's for sure. You know, how you gonna say you gonna relate to Trump? You know, he ain't did nothing in terms of helping the economy and helping businesses and black business in particular. So I don't understand it. Now maybe people who in these other Dan Herschel Walker's son, Christian, his punk ass, he gets on. I heard his thing on Twitter. I saw something about him, Herschel Walker. He used to play UGA football player. His son, gay as a kite. He come out talking about Black Lives um, don't matter and now only thing I would say I understand where he was coming from, but I just think the way he came off was kind of wrong. You know, he says, "Why you gotta burn up? I can, burn up the communities, looting, and being destructive, and Black Lives Matters terrorist group." And he was a strong Trump supporter. He only 21. You know, I was like, "Boy, you don't sit your punk ass down because he lived like I was telling somebody. He lived a privileged life. You know, you lived up there in California and or wherever, went to private school and you talking about they burned down my favorite donut place in Los Angeles. And you sit on you talking about you looking down from your apartment and that's going on and all that stuff. Okay. I don't agree with people burning down businesses and looting and marching up and down the road, destroying things. I don't agree with that. I surely don't agree with it, but at the same time, I'm not going to be Black Lives Matter terrorist group, and they just like the KKK, and they wrong for doing this or whatever. When you live a privileged life, you know, your daddy gave you this, and you ain't have to work for nothing. You ain't have to work for nothing. You ain't have to be without nothing, and then you get on YouTube. You get on YouTube talking talking crap, I mean, and then people were like, "Oh, I expect this man. He speaks his mind," and they're saying, all black folks is not monolithic in regards to being Democrat. All black people are not the same when it comes to political views, but because black folks was originally Republican. The Republican Lincoln's Party or whatever. Martin Luther King was a Republican. So it's not the same thing. Just because you're a Republican don't mean you against black people or against black folks. Because my grandfather, he was Republican. It's just the principles of what when you think of Republican. Republican is conservative, um, more conservative. They don't have very fiscal responsible, I guess you could say. Um, they don't believe they're not as socialistic in their views, meaning that someone who's more Republican, they more like they believe more in small business, less business involvement, more financial responsibility, fiscal responsibilities, you know, people taking more of financial responsibilities in regards to business and um, not a whole lot of social programs like government handouts and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying they don't want to help the poor, but they believe more in pulling yourself up from the bootstraps, put it that way. Working hard and not expecting sit on your ass and collect welfare and collect food stamps and live in Section 8 housing for the rest of your lives, generation after generation. Mm-mm. People think they're not as they don't believe more in equality, but the fact of the matter is, it's more of a conservative views. Now, Trump, I just don't too much care for the antics. You know, I didn't too much care for the antics. I think that if he had focused more on business as a business person and believed that everyone should be able to have a chance to succeed, not just the ones who got money. See, that's why Ice Cube and all the other people talking about I support Trump. See, they ain't got nothing. See, they don't have to worry about, how they're gonna pay their mortgage, how they're gonna pay their rent. You know, all the thing they be worrying about is, ooh, what outfit I'm gonna get on Beverly Hills, and what vacation and what boat I'm gonna get, and what my daddy gonna give me, and drive around in $500,000 cars and go to private schools and live in a big old house or compound or mansion. You got 10 rooms with 18 bathrooms and 10, 50 cars in your garage. See, they so focused on agreeing with Trump in regards to the fact that they ain't got no worries and struggles. They ain't got no worries and struggles. So I could see why Ice Cube and all the other people coming forward talking about um, they support Trump because they could probably go to the Trump Towers and go to Florida and go to resort and golf and all that stuff. They ain't got nothing to worry about. They ain't gonna be stopped by no cops and be put in jail unless you one of those rappers and stuff where you have a criminal, like you one of those real nobody rappers. I ain't talking about, you know, the ones that's popular. I ain't talking about those ones with those third labels, independent labels coming out the hood from Louisiana or up in the hood, and they talk about I'm rapper such and such, and nobody don't know who the hell you are. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about people who um that even white folks know. Cause see, what's his name? Um, Snoop Dogg. See, Snoop Dogg when he first came out, with the little ponytail and all that stuff, and he was on Death Row Records and with Suge Knight and all that. He had no class. Now I ain't say he got class now because he really don't. But when he first came out there out of Long Beach, and he was talking about all this stuff with the yeah and the Bloods and the Crips and this and that or whatever, hanging around with Suge Knight and they went to him to um, Dr. Dre and stuff. See, years later, Snoop Dogg, you hanging around with Martha Stewart talking about, oh, let me cook. You being a house Negro. You became a house Negro, and then all up there, all cozy up with white folks up there in California, and you became part of the more mainstream, and you started really making money. Cause see, they weren't making no money when they was with black folks. See, sometimes your own people will keep you down. See, when he was with Suge Knight and Dr. Dre, he made a few $1 million and stuff in albums and stuff, but Snoop Dogg didn't start really making money until he became more mainstream with Martha Stewart and years later. Come, I'm gonna go into be a preacher and do a gospel album, blah blah blah. When those white folks started really giving you kiss, you start kissing those white folks' ass, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, Donald Trump, mm-mm. You start Uncle Tommy and stuff, and that's a whole lot of those black folks, particularly black men, up in Hollywood. They became once you become an Uncle Tom, you gave up your black card, walk around with Becky on your arms, and all of a sudden you talk about, I support Trump. I'm a Trump supporter. Hmm. The minute you become those behind those pearly gates, and you thinking you made it, and you up there, all of a sudden, it ain't just now. I ain't just talking about Snoop Dogg and all of that. There's a whole bunch of them. A whole bunch of them. Charles Barkley and all the rest of them. Here they come. Because they know. They know if they start talking that um Black Lives Matter and start being look what happened to Kaepernick, you know, you ain't been back in football yet. You start talking about you taking the kneel pro black and me put my afro up and pick my afro up. Those white folks show you who you are. They gonna say, I don't give a damn how much money you got. You ain't got nothing. They gonna keep you in your place. They gonna keep them in their place, and that's it. So they know what they losing. All of a sudden they wanna be Tommen, got Becky and Becky under their arms. Got white women or Asian women under their arms. They know. They know not to step out of line because they don't. Because black folks, even if you got millions of dollars, even you got $1 million contracts, play the football, basketball, baseball, movies or whatever, your whole money and makeup comes from white men, and you ain't gonna lose all that. So they gonna give up their black card before they lose anything. So they gonna be toting around about, yeah, I want to work with Trump and help with the black community. You don't need Trump to help the black community. Your ass, your ass came out of Compton and Long Beach and all the places in the hood. They could have been helped black folks way before Trump came along. Not giving out no nasty ass dried up turkeys on Thanksgiving Day and coming around the neighborhood talking about, okay, Merry Christmas. See, that's what I love about Tyler Perry. Now, I think he do too much being producer, actor, director, script writer, and do everything. He don't want nobody to help. I love some of his shows, but I like Tyler Perry for the fact that he truly gives back in the community, and he don't have nobody controlling his studio, and he's not under no body else to um, support his channel and support. He kept everything to himself. He ain't backed up by Apple. He ain't backed up by no major predominantly white Jewish networks. You know, but I'm gonna tell you now, but all these rest of these people coming up and they talking some mess, you know that you could lose that money just like that, and you could turn in your black card. You turn your black card in before you know you going. You may not go deep down in the hood. You know, you ain't gonna go. They're not gonna go that low, but they got too comfortable living that lifestyle and the rich and famous, and here you come talking crazy. You know, mm-mm. If you're gonna say I support Trump because just simply say I support Trump because I was able to save my money in taxes because the, he only helped the rich. So you can come and say you support Trump because of that. You could say that. Then I could say, you know what? If his policies was helping you save 20-30% in taxes and you got money like that and you say you support Trump because of that, then go right ahead. That's your views. But for regular folks, middle class people, it ain't no benefit. I don't see nothing. I see no benefit. Nothing. I have seen nothing yet. And I'll be the first one to admit if Trump really is doing something for the economy, I'll be the first one to admit, you know what? He did some good things. I'll support him. But I'm not I'm not I'm not a Trump supporter because he hasn't done nothing. Point blank period. He lied. He hasn't had no policies to help black people at all. That platinum plan and stuff. I didn't go to an HBCU college, but I don't see anything. I haven't seen nothing. He had implemented no policies at all in helping black people. Period. I just don't see it. He was so focused on President Obama, the worst president ever. Uh, you stupid. Um, the news people are dumb and idiots. He spent more time just being nasty, talking about people. He didn't use that gift of money and knowing how to work his deals. You could be rough, you could be tough, because sometimes you have to be tough, especially working with foreign countries. Now, if he had really focused on trade agreements, um, you know, closing the trade agreements that they have with China and bringing jobs back and really doing what he said he was going to do, not just for certain kind of people, but no, you didn't do it. You dropped the ball. And then this pandemic, the virus, you lied about that. You so focused on cutting President Obama's policies against the diseases. I can't remember what that thing was called. With infectious diseases and stuff. You cut that. You cut that program. You cut that agency, the EPA and all that stuff. Because the EPA he cut that budget tremendously. He was so busy backlashing and and reversing things what President Obama done and being spiteful that you didn't even do your job. You didn't even do your job. I could care less if you hate black folks. I could care less if you hate Mexican. But if you did your job and did things that's going to help everyone or the majority of people, because you can't help everybody. I can tell you that. Every policy a president makes is not going to always be agreed upon with everyone. You know. Sometimes you do have to cut sometimes you do have to cut certain programs, or whatever, especially giving out money to um, low income, earn income credit, and people sit on their ass, and and you're not working. Sometimes you do have to scale back on some programs that is being abused, not just for his during his 4 years, but period. You have to make some strong decisions at times. Sometimes you do have to cut. I'm not saying cut down things like child care and early education and stuff that's going to benefit people in the country. Sometimes you have to make strong decisions about um, um, immigration. Sometimes you do have to say, you know what, that our system is too saturated, too much resources being given out to people who are not U.S. citizens. Yes, we need to close the borders. See, you knew that was a problem, but you started out that way. But see, you executed it wrong, Trump. You was focused on, oh, we don't want no more Muslims. We banning Muslims and Mexicans and everybody else coming in the country. See, you ain't had to say it like that. You ain't had to call people scumbag or slime the earth or whatever he said. You ain't had to say that. Because I agree. One thing I did agree with Trump was about controlling immigration. I really agreed on that. But you ain't got to call on people slime or um, um, you ain't had to be egregious with the name calling now. You ain't had to be like that. Because y'all know, they got too many people coming up here from Mexicans, too many people from Somalia, too many people from all these other poor countries that came here to the United States that's getting free government assistance and everything. That's too many. You have to control such things like that. Because, see, in other countries, see, my major was international studies in undergrad. See, in other countries, I can go to certain countries and say, okay, I want to live in Sweden. Let me live in this country. They screen you just as hard if y'all wanted to go to another country. And they got their immigration policies. You can only stay in certain countries for, what, 2 months, a month, 6 weeks. You know? What you here for? How long you gonna be here? They give you a visa for a 6 week visa to stay in certain countries, and that's it. They control immigration in every other countries because they know that their resources is only so limited. Like for instance, in England, when so many people from other African countries and Somalia and some other countries, they were all flooding into England, and they said, nope, too many. They had to pass laws and control in regards to that because the economy in England was going lower, and they had this immigration problem, and even in Canada, they had free health care in Canada, and they had to control the people coming into Canada because they was exhausting their social services, the health care, because they was like, no, we got too many immigrants, and they was going to be busted. They were going bust, and they had to control the rules and regulations regarding immigration policies in other countries. But here in the United States, people see they looking at things wrong. Now I don't agree with separating children from parents. Now see, Trump should have took that as an opportune situation to um, promote or have some policies in place. But no, you let it become as a disaster. You know, there's other immigration policies that happen in other presidencies. Reagan had the issues with the Haitians when AIDS came out. They were trying to say the Haitian people from Haiti were bringing in AIDS in the United States. Well, that was one thing that came when it came to the Haitians. They were all fleeing Papa Doc, that dictator, and they were all coming from Haiti. They were, Haiti's only like 50 miles from Florida, and they were all on these boats, and and they kept they were telling them they had to go back, send them back to Haiti, and people made a big uproar when Bush was it Bush one or Bush no I know Bush two didn't do it, or was it Reagan? One of them, Reagan, Bush, whatever, had that immigration problems and criticized about, well, you let the Haitians, you turn them away, but then you let the Europeans come in because they white, Europeans do not consider themselves white. Europeans are Europeans. I met some people who are Europeans, and they really don't like when people put Europeans and say they white. They don't believe that. And I speak to a lot of people from different countries around the world. Being from New York, you get this. And when I went to college in New York initially, I meet a lot of people from different parts of the world and different parts of the country and stuff. But every president had to deal with immigration, one way or the other. Immigration ain't just something that happened with Trump, all that kind of stuff. That's been happening. That's been a problem. But see, he could have done something to fix it. No, but you want to focus on calling people out their names and stuff, and then rather than just focusing on the problem, and because you ain't gonna like nobody. Let me tell you, I don't care a damn less. Ain't no president in the United States. Maybe Trump. I mean Trump. Maybe a President Obama had respect for people because he's white and black. His father's from India and his mother was white. So he has a more different perspective when it comes to race. But all the rest of them, we don't know where they stood. You don't know where they stand. You don't know what they think about black folks or people, other races and countries and ethnic groups. But see, you don't have to like nobody. Just respect. You hear me call people niggas all day long on YouTube, whatever, and I'll be saying, oh, crackers and every other word come out my mouth. And I'll be the first one to admit, yeah, that's racist. Yeah, okay. Prejudice, racist, whatever. Everybody got something to say about something, one way or the other. People got some viewpoints about it, you know? But the thing is, I'm going to respect people. Now, people say, that's not respect, and you call people, whatever. Because somebody's going to write a book right now, how to troll page, trying to write me a book. So don't waste your time. Don't waste your keystrokes. Don't send me nothing stupid. But see, what I was talking about, Trump could have really, you're not going to resolve the problem in its entirety. No. But people know, I don't care, y'all know that people here in the United States, whether you're black or white or whatever, that if y'all sentiments is that, and I know people say it too, that people from other countries, and I hear it all the time, I heard it for years, people from other countries could get money from the United States and they start their own business and they taking our jobs. Everybody always think someone's taking somebody's job, you know, and um and they just start businesses and the Korean people, they get black folks and they always be following you around the mall, around the store. Um, they come here in this country, they get everything, they get free housing and they get free food stamps and they get all these government assistance and they not even citizens. You know darn well people got sentiments about people coming here getting aid and felt that they not paying taxes and they not citizens and why should they get it? Darn well most people feel that way. Most people feel that way. You know, most people feel that way when it comes to the inequities of resources that's very limited to people who are born in this country. A lot of people know it. They know it. But see, Trump could have had his chance to fix that and implement those policies by working with other people and come up with something. You know, darn well there's too many people from all these other countries that's all up in the ghettos of these places across the country that's exhausting the system. That's anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world is exhausting the system and exhausting the resources. So now when people are looking for affordable housing and you know trying to still get food stamps and whatever else things they need or go to the pantry and getting some type of aid because we're gonna be in some type of worse situation regardless who becomes president. I'll tell you that now. The pandemic may be a big issue, but it's not gonna be. But it's just another layer of problems that's coming on top of it. That's what this corona is doing. Is adding more layers of problems onto other problems, and it's making it worse. If the coronavirus didn't come around and this corona didn't happen, I would have to say that there would still be some job losses, but it wouldn't be as much. It wouldn't have forced a lot of places like restaurants and the hospitality industry, um, hotels and things like that, and small businesses closing down because it wouldn't have been as bad. Put it that way. It would be bad, but it wouldn't have been as bad if Corona didn't happen. If Corona didn't happen, I would have to honestly say that Trump would be. It wouldn't have been a question about him not being elected again. Trump would be. He will be reelected again. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. Next week will tell. I already voted, so we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. That's all I know. It would have been since Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was the last president who only had one term, and Jimmy Carter, the great governor, ex former governor of Georgia. If some of y'all didn't know that, I don't know how old some of y'all are. He only had one term, and let me tell you, when Jimmy Carter, before he left office, and it wasn't he left in disgrace. He left because even to the last second, he tried to get those hostages out of Iran and free those Americans who were kept captive in Iran. To the tenth of a second, he could not get them out of Iran and released and freed. But that clock turned 12:01. Reagan was sworn into office as the president, and out of spite, they freed the Americans under Reagan's watch. And all the things, the economy that was going on when Carter was president, it was an economic issue too. It was economics collapse. Now I don't, I was young, but uh, when George Bush Senior, you sure? They call us. I'm gonna have to look that up. I sworn that both Bushes became president. Maybe I'm wrong, but anyway. Oh, I know what it was with Carter. Carter lost by a landslide. That's what it was. That's what I was trying to correlate between Trump and Carter. Trump, well, put it this way: Carter lost by a landslide. It was like a sweep. That's what it was. So if Trump lose and it predicts what they say is going to happen, it's going to be since Carter that they lost so badly. That's what it was. And we'll see. I'm going to be volunteering to vote at the post on Tuesday. So I'll be off on Wayfair Tuesday and I'll be working the polls. But I haven't got a call back from the manager yet. That's supposed. I told them they wanted me to go to Sliven Road or somewhere, and I was like, You ain't got one across around the corner from my house at the elementary school. So, oh shoot, I was gonna call. No, I'll call Monday. So, yeah, we will see what's gonna happen. I don't know. I just, it's like the news. Everybody want to predict. They said even if Biden loses Florida and Pennsylvania and Ohio, they said he can still win, even if he don't win those three states. Because the way they were predicting so far with the data from the nonprofit organizations who tracking of everybody who voted so far, they already got the numbers about who voted. And they said even if he didn't win those three key states, he still is in the lead of winning. But people are so scared to call it because of what happened with Hillary, and they didn't want to make that. They didn't want to make that mistake. So it's kind of like people kind of scared to come out and say anything. But the way it's talking, it seems like Biden could win. But people are so scared because they're thinking that they said more Republicans vote on election day than voting early. So they say, so I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is we'll see. We shall see what happens. But I don't know. All I know is I hope the stock market goes up because my little dang retirement plan in 401k, I was like, oh my God, it's took a dip, but luckily it's not losing too much. But it'll pick up, it'll go back. It'll pick up again and because the way the market is and the way the economy is going, it's not really correlating. People saying if they don't get no stimulus, to keep it going, it just depends how bad it gets. That's all I know. If it gets really, really, really bad, regardless who becomes president, they may try to come up with a stimulus. They may come up with a stimulus, but it ain't gonna be. Trust me, ain't nobody getting no money. Now, anything, Tuesday's election day, they ain't giving up no money after election day. No stimulus ain't gonna be passed either because whoever becomes president is gonna be a lame duck president. Trump may be a lame duck president for the next 2 months before January 22nd. So it ain't much, and he may not do much of nothing anyway, to be honest. Say you with Trump and you lose by a landslide, or you lose to a point where you can't even. I concede. I'm not giving it up. First of all, just because you don't concede, don't mean that you get to stay president. That just means that you just haven't conceded, because they're gonna still move on with the electoral college, cast their ballots for the electoral college, and that's it. So whether you concede or not, that ain't much you could do. You could say, "Oh no, I don't agree," you know. But if he loses by a landslide, ain't not much he could do. That's in the Constitution, you know. Ain't nobody in no damn Supreme Court could even change that. That's in the rule, you know. So it ain't no. But like I said, it all depends. If it's really, really close, and I don't know. Hopefully, Florida won't be involved in this stupid mess with the voting thing. But so many people, um, they voted early, or they're gonna be voting on Tuesday, or they're gonna be voting tomorrow because tomorrow's the last day. So they're gonna either, um, some people they got so precautious about voting in the mail that I don't think a lot of people voted through the mail, because they was like, oh no, I'm going to vote in line. They were saying today, I was looking at a couple of things on the news. Well, I read not on the news, but I don't have TV. But on online, they were saying a lot of people were staying online for 2, 3 hours waiting to vote. They did not want to put their ballot in the mail because they got so um they just didn't trust it. So they was like, nope, I'm gonna vote early. You either voted early, or you're gonna be on that line Tuesday and you're gonna stay on that line. And some people gonna be really coming out tomorrow to vote. 23 states. They all gonna come out and vote tomorrow. But they said a lot of people has already voted. A lot. So and then um and then those are gonna vote Tuesday. I don't know. I don't even know much about it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know too much about it. All I know was I saw when Kamala basically questioned her, and she was like, "Well, what are you trying to say?" I just felt, I don't know. She was asking her questions about things and giving answer, and she was, to me, I think she was being a little bit rude with how she answered her questions. But I think she accused herself from that vote about what happened in Pennsylvania. She said she didn't read had enough time to read it, and she accused herself from it. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Sometimes you think people are going to be a certain way, and think they're going to overturn cases and stuff, and they turn around, they don't even do it. Two Haitian kids, and she used the 16-year-old as a caretaker. I don't know. Ain't no different than when white folks be adopting children from Africa and Haiti and stuff. I mean, some white folks, or people, other races adopt black kids or other brown children and stuff. Sometimes, sometimes I just think that they act like they getting pets. Now I know they probably love the children and stuff and respect the kids, but sometimes I just think that they're like, oh, they so pretty with their black brown skin. Oh, I just think it's like they act like they're getting a monkey out of a cage in a jungle. Now I'm not saying they treat them like monkeys and stuff, but they act like they treat them like they pets. Yeah, Colas. You know, they're like, oh, they so cute. Oh, they so. They treat them like they're a little project, like they're a project. Now I know that a lot of children in other foreign countries like Haiti and Africa and stuff, and India and They are in China. They in deplorable situations and stuff. And to be honest, I can see why. I can't say they do it. It's very expensive to adopt. And let me tell you how much it costs. When I used to do taxes and stuff, and even at the IRS, it's like almost $10,000 plus just to adopt a child. Legal fees, that thing, this, that. It's not, it ain't cheap to adopt. The cheapest way you could adopt, not the cheapest, the only way you could adopt is going through the foster care system where um you can claim them. That is not legal. I mean, that's not illegal. If I was a foster parent and I have 4 kids and 5 kids or whatever, and they need a place to stay or whatever, I could get to claim them as a foster child on my taxes. But it ain't about the taxes because what I'm saying is that when you see these big stars or people got a lot of money and they adopt children, they got the money to adopt 10, 20, 30,000, whatever. It's a lot. It's expensive. Why they don't adopt children here in the United States that's in the foster care system? Because they have too many problems. There's too many things. See, most children in the United States, a lot of people don't adopt children unless it's a baby. Unless it's a baby, everybody wants a baby. Oh, I want a baby. I want to adopt a baby. But they don't want to adopt no 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 16, even up to 17. Once they turn 18, they're out the system. So because so many children in the United States, particularly black kids, brown kids, or whatever, come from troubled homes, parents who are drug addicted, whatever. They suffer from a lot of mental issues and horrible situations. A lot of them just can't deal with them because they're so broken that even if you can show all the love to a child, it is kind of very hard. And there's some issues too that goes on in other countries too. Because I'm gonna tell you a story what I heard a few years ago. What the hell? All that damn noise. Hold up. See who the hell. I'll be back. Let me look out the window. To act like they always gotta make all that freaking noise. All right, I'm back. I mean, who the hell all that dang raggedy noise? Anyway, so kids and that's in other countries and stuff, and they're no stars, and people got a lot of money. See, they got money to claim children. They got the money to pay these private agencies to adopt, and they adopt a lot of children overseas in other foreign countries because the ones here in the United States in the foster care system and stuff, and they just don't want to really deal with. That's how much respect I think they show for black folks in general. You got black kids in the United States that need to be adopted, but you ain't see nobody going in the state systems to adopt. So they're gonna go overseas and hire some private company and do adoption in some other countries and stuff. Is it because the problems of most kids here in this country are unadoptable, or they don't just respect black folks in general in the United States? that it's gonna pass along to regular black children. That's probably what it is. They use them as a pet or a case study or whatever. Oh, look at my little whatever. Oh, look at my little what they want to nope. Once I figure out how to become a foster parent next year in 2021, I'm gonna look into that. But you have to take a lot of classes, and it's something you have to do for months. And oh, that's the point I was making. When you go to the foster care system and stuff, and you become a foster parent, and you do it that way, it's not as expensive. Put it that way. And they used to have $5,250 adoption tax credit, which was a refundable credit. So if you had adopted a child, you could take that credit on the taxes. I think they cut that. I don't think they have that anymore. And and but there was provisions with that credit too. And I think because I used to do those tax returns, and people be trying to be falsifying records and stuff. That's why they was asking for a lot of proof and documents and legal documents, because people were trying to get that credit. And you had to supply a lot of paperwork and stuff. And then there were some companies, they would give you money if you adopt. It was part of their benefits and stuff. Hold up, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. But yeah, like I said, it's always something. And they be touching their hair like they in the zoo. Yeah, there's some parents care about the kids. They no doubt about that. There's some that really care about the kids. But there are also some people who don't. There are some people they don't. And there was this beef sector on YouTube. This guy named Sean Bradley, um, punk ass. He was I don't know. Some of y'all probably know I'm talking about. Some of y'all probably don't. But it's this beef sector. These bunch of these people. They get on YouTube and all they do is have beef about each other. And then there's one guy. His name is Sean Bradley. Some black gay guy. I think he lived up there in Arizona somewhere. Um, he was a foster parent to a teenager, and he he spoke so I don't know what really happened. It was something about the and he was 15, 16, and they took him away out of his house, and he was doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. I don't know. It was something he was doing. He was basically getting the money to be a foster parent, and it's like if you the more kids you take in as a foster parent, the more money you get. So, say for instance, I said, okay, oh, um, I got 2 extra rooms, and I could be a foster parent, or say, oh, I could take in, so many kids for so length of time or whatever, because um, as a foster parent, they don't stay with you permanently. I think they're there until the parents themselves get their act together, and then they go back to the parents, and or until they age out, and then when they turn 18, they on their own, and they never got adopted. So there's a lot of kids. There's a lot of they need a lot of people to be foster parents. It's this place on 78. They was an agency of some sort. They was saying they needed foster parents, especially around this time of the year with Christmas and the holidays. That um, they stay in these group homes, I think, and it's kind of it's overburdening the state to watch over these kids, I guess. I don't think they really have a way of watching over them. So they just need people to a home that could feel normal and be you know, have someone to care for them. So I'm gonna look into it more. And the reason why I haven't done it before was because really my schedule, and because I was always working outside of my house, and when you work outside of your house or a lot of hours and things like that, I didn't know I was really able to do it. But now I'm work from home, and also I may be having another job called Omni Interactions as an independent contractor. I came across this company on this Facebook group, Work from Home Jobs, and basically they was hiring people to work for. One was wine.com, like wine, like you drink wine, and they were looking for people to also work for this called Harry and Dave, which is a cheese and wine gift company. Now I've heard of this thing for years. Um, they're looking for people to work from home, but you're an independent contractor. And I applied this week, and then I paid $14 to do the background check. So I'm waiting for the background check to come back, and then it's supposed to start November the 9th. And it's like 4 days of training, but it's unpaid. And then you get paid 14. No, you get paid 15.70 something an hour. Let me go on here real quick. Hold on. Let me look. All right, I'm gonna share my screen and show y'all. All right, y'all see this? Okay, so this company, Omni Interactions, is you become a brand ambassador, and they have positions. There's only 2 companies they got, but hold on, let me go back to this. Okay, so here it is. So I applied for this company. I found it on a Facebook group, work from home jobs on a Facebook group, and they are hiring is an independent contractor, 1099. So they're looking for email and phone customer service support, and also love, wine, and cheese seasonal work from home support. Now, the first one on the top right here, this is wine.com, and then the other one is called Harry and Dave or something like that. So you can work anytime you want. Now, the first one is 8 to like 7 a.m. to 8. So I didn't choose that one because one, I needed something that had more hours availability of choosing. So yesterday I went on an information session. I already chose the position that I wanted to do. I paid for the background check, and and they supposed to start sometime like November the 9th. 4 days of training, and then after that you choose whatever hours you want to work, and it's not based on like I did with what you call it, where you get paid only for talking. That's not it. So if I had 20 hours a week, I get paid like 16, no, 15, 16 something an hour or something like that. So the more hours you work, the more you get paid. So if it's 29 hours or 30 hours, you get paid $17 and some change. So, but if you work like 15 hours or whatever, it's like $15 and it's like $15.49. So it goes up based on the number of hours you work. So basically, what it is that people call in about their orders. So and they work, and the other one is 7 days a week. They open, and it's from like 7 in the morning all the way up to 1 o'clock in the morning. So basically, it's like I could work from like say Thursday, Friday when I'm off from Wayfair. I could work those 2 days, and when I get off of work 5:30 on Saturday, Sunday, I could work like from say 7 o'clock to 1. So if I signed up for say 25 hours, I would get paid $17 and some change per hour. And it's not based on talk time. It's just based on if you're available. So like if I'm sitting here and I choose some hours of time, and as long as I'm available and the call comes in, then I get paid per hour as long as I'm logged on. So that was a good thing. But that's a couple more weeks from now. I'm waiting for my background check to come back. So I know background check should not take that long to come back, you know. So I'll wait and see. But I'll let y'all know about it. But if you're interested, go to Omni Interactions. They're not in California, so unfortunately I did try to look out for y'all that lives in California. But this is a gig job working from home. And one is seasonal. One is supposed to end, the one that's wine.com, that's supposed to end right before Christmas. The other one is ongoing, but they say they have a whole bunch of other companies too. I heard it was one of them was a bank, but before I could apply, it was already filled. And, so I was like, God dang. But anyway, but I don't know. It's better than me working at the warehouse, working at Amazon, working those crazy hours like that. So I'll let y'all know about that as the days go by. Oh, 134. All right, I've been on this too long. Anybody else got anything to say? Because I see that the drop ship fell down to 3. So give me a thumbs up. All right, let me go. I've been on here long. All right, Colas, Romeo, I know Dorian probably in here. Ruthie, Lady TH, Winston. Who else I'm missing? Anybody I'm missing? All right. Y'all have a good one. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Good night.